Hello, 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 everyone. How are you? Hope you're having a fantastic, fantastic day, and may peace be upon you. Thank you for tuning into the show. I'm your host, Dr. Izdihar Jamil, and today I have the beautiful, the inspiring entrepreneur and best-selling author of Yes I Can, Vandee Flake, and she's going to be sharing about her 2 tips that she has learned in becoming an entrepreneur. So, Vandee, welcome, welcome, welcome.
Thank you for having me. It's an honor to be on your show and to share my story with your listeners. I hope I can inspire them and share some wisdom.
Brilliant. And Vandee, she has gone through a transitioning, isn't it? A transitioning of being a corporate mom into entrepreneurship. And for anybody who is listening, you're going to be like, why? You're leaving a secure job. You're leaving all those paid vacation. You're leaving a fixed income, isn't it? Because we all know entrepreneurship is a risky thing. So, Vandee, why don't you kind of like share with everyone what made you jump into entrepreneurship?
Well, I started off and I was kind of doing my goals. I went to college on a scholarship. I got out, I got a job, I got married, I had my baby. And I kind of realized that I started to feel stuck, in my career. And I had a great job. I had a good income. I had benefits. I had 5 weeks vacation. I had a lot of great benefits. But I realized I was not being the best version of me. I felt stuck. And then I was feeling like I was not being the mom I was meant to be. When my children had stuff at school and I couldn't get off to be there. When my child was sick all night and every morning I felt like this pool of, do I stay home with my sick child and abandon the projects at work? Because my job wasn't one that, somebody else would just take care of it. It just built up and was a bigger problem for me. Or do I stay home with my sick child? And it was always this pool of and I was not feeling like I was being the best mom that I was meant to be. And I felt so broken and so lost. And I was becoming just this, tired, stressed person. And I wasn't being able to give my best, to my family, who is the most important thing in our lives. And I was introduced to becoming an entrepreneur through a network marketing business. And I loved it because I felt like I had somebody that had my back. So we started building part-time. I kept my full-time job right away until I had replaced that income. And in fact, when I went to my boss and told her I was putting in my notice, the CEO came in and said, I'm not accepting your notice. You have to go home and really think about this decision. But I knew that becoming an entrepreneur was going to be a big jump, but I also knew that it was fulfilling my life's purpose. I was able to connect with other people to help them feel better, to help them become the best versions of themselves, whether it was just through helping with their health or helping, make some extra bills and pay some extra bills. Because sometimes as a mom, we're strapped. We know we can't really go to work because childcare is too expensive and we don't know how, but we want to help. And so to be able to help part-time while we're juggling kids and everything else, it just made me the best version of me. And it gave me that sense that I really wanted to step in to who I was and who I was meant to be on this earth, and to share my story and to connect with other people. I love hearing people's stories, and I love helping them achieve their goals. And so that's why I became an entrepreneur. And, I've learned a lot on the way, and I'm always continuing to learn, but it's opened a lot of doors for me that I would have never had before.
I think that's awesome, Vandee, because like Vandee, you're kind of sharing, right? Like if you know any working moms, you have that guilt trip, right? You always felt that you had to choose going to work or stay home with your children. If you stay home, you lose the income, isn't it? Because it's expensive nowadays to live by, especially on a single person income. And when you go to work, you have to find someone to look after your children and childcare. Vandee has got 4 beautiful children. So she's got times for childcare to think about balancing those acts. And like what Vandee was saying, that when she's at work, there was nobody to kind of like support her. So if she missed one thing, it's just going to pile up on the mountain, and she would have more work to do when you come back, isn't it, Van? You had more work to do. You had a sick child. You had to figure out the bills. So kind of like Van is kind of in a dilemma. You had dilemma. And was that something that came to your realization within a few months, or was it kind of built up as you go along?
It kind of built up as I went along. I mean, I had different things. I, had a miscarriage in the middle of this, while I was working, and I literally called my husband crying, and then I went into work because I felt such a pull, to fulfill that. I didn't take time for myself or take time to, to take care of me. A couple years later, I had 2 kids, and I knew I wasn't going to have any more children because I couldn't figure out the balance of working and babies and childcare. And I was blessed. I did have my sister that did most of my childcare, and I had family support, but it was still expensive, and it was still a juggle all of the time on everything. And I knew I wanted something different, but I didn't know what that looked like until a friend reached out, and he said, I thought, this might be something you might be interested in. It might not. It aligned with who I was, and it aligned with the needs I had at the time, because there's lots of different ways to become an entrepreneur. And for me to have somebody that was helping, me was the best part about it. And to be able to go on and help other people have that success and have, help them hit their goals. It's just been so inspiring.
I think that's truly awesome, So like, look, for women out there that are listening, you would always have a choice. Like you can go to work and continue, which is absolutely awesome. Vandy's kind of sharing her perspective that she felt that something was missing, and she figured out like, how can I create the balance? How can I be the best version of the mom that I can be? Because if you're a doctor, you're a teacher, that's a commitment, isn't it? And we can't live without doctors or teachers, and accountants and all that. We can't live without all the moms that have those kind of professions. So Van is kind of like figuring out for herself what works for her the best. And that's something that for all of you that are listening, you got to figure out what works for you, the best thing that you can be. And Vandy's CEO was like, I'm not accepting this, because you got to think about, and he's absolutely right, isn't he, Vandee? He's absolutely right, because number one, entrepreneurship is scary. Number two, entrepreneurship isn't easy. You don't just hand in 30-day notice and then within 30 days you make the income that you make. I mean, I personally don't know anybody who was able to do that. Give a 30-day notice and then suddenly have a business that gives them 10K, 15K, 5K, whatever it is, because it's a skill. Vandee is always like learning and growing. That's one of her things that she's got to like deep dive a little bit more. So Vandee, knowing that entrepreneurship was scary, knowing that entrepreneurship was something new, did it kind of like freak you out a little bit? Because you've got children, you've got payments, you've got bills, did it kind of like scared you a little bit to even go there?
It did. And we started off part-time. So I started building my entrepreneurship part-time while my husband and I both kept our jobs. So it was busy because we were doing double duty, but we felt like we had a way out. And so it was worth that time sacrifice and that juggling. And yeah, I was blessed because of the path I chose for an entrepreneur. I had that opportunity to build it part-time. So when I left, I had the money coming in. I had the bills coming in. Was it scary? Yes. Were there times I wondered if I was making the right choice? Frequently, especially right after after I quit my job, I found out that we were expecting our third child. And that was scary, going from very good health insurance to, paying for cash, was a big balance. And I was so grateful though that I had that, and I had built that network and that tribe of people that were supporting me, and and we were all running towards the same goals. So that for me was a big deal. But yeah, you want to be always learning. One of the early quotes trainings I heard, it said you become the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with. And I use this quote a lot because it was eye-opening to me, because I'd realized that I was not the best version of myself. I was not working every day on becoming better. And the neat thing is, we can kind of hack that process by reading excellent books. And if you don't know any books or you want some great tips, any of Dr. Izzy's are fabulous. And every time I read them, I take notes, because it's not just a feel-good story. It's a feel-good story with an action item. And that's my other tip, is take action every single day on whatever your business is. As an entrepreneur, whatever you're going towards your goals, is break them down into those daily habits, make yourself better. I always say it's like 2 feet. Your left foot, is you're learning, and your right foot is the action. And you need them both if you want to move forward straight towards your goals. Otherwise, you're just going to spin in circles.
Absolutely. And Vandee, you touch a really important point there, that you didn't just jump into entrepreneurship. You built it up. You learned. You built the muscle. It's like you're running a marathon, isn't it? You don't just go for 25 miles straight. You need to be, resuscitated, on mile 10 or mile 7, because nobody goes from 0 to 25 miles. Suddenly woke up tomorrow, I'm going to go for a marathon. That is absolutely ridiculous. So the same with entrepreneurship. Vandee, while working on her full-time job, build the muscle, learned, implemented, tested, practice, make money, lost money probably, along the way. Figure out who are the, people who are helping her and people who are not. And I think that's key, isn't it, Vandee? Because people think just jump in, you can do it on your own. Business is a team game. It is a team game. So Vandee kind of like touch a good point. If you're thinking about entrepreneurship, follow Vandee's footsteps, start now and build it up. Vandee did it with a full-time job. The same with me. I practiced it when I was doing my PhD, kind of like starting that bits by bits, learning, making money, lost money, learn about people, learn about the tips. So important, because as we parents, we have responsibilities. So we got to make the best choices and not kind of like, how do I say, like all those spur of the moment, isn't it, Vandee? Send in my notice. Yeah. And then you got stressed out because you don't know about sales or marketing or, lead generation. So good point there, Vandee, touched learning. And if you have your full-time job, you can continue that full-time job as you build your muscle. And the other thing Vandee mentioned about was having the right team. So talk about that, Vandee. How do we know whether that person is empowering us, supporting us, or they're not, or they're toxic, or they have their own agenda? So talk about the listeners, how they can choose the right people in their life, because that makes a huge difference.
It does. And, I have found that when I find somebody that has what I want, and then I look at what they did, and if their values align with my values, because I know a lot of people that make a lot of money, but they don't have any time to spend with their family. And that's where I was kind of at with my job. And so you want to find those people that can lead you and can mentor you. And then you want to follow their steps, whether it's reading books, whether it's, listening to their podcast, and then do those actions. But you want to also find people that align with your values. I had looked at other business opportunities before, but either the product didn't mesh something that I was excited about, the people that were sharing didn't mesh with my values and somebody that I want to spend time with. And even now, when I look at building my team and sharing this with people, I don't share it with everybody. I share it with people that I would want to travel with when COVID's over, you know, because that's been some of my best memories, is being able to, you know, travel to amazing places with friends that I have met and people that we built this tribe of support together. And when there's people that you don't mesh with because their values aren't there, that's really, really difficult. And then they have their own agenda. Sometimes it's being honest and realizing that this person is not somebody you can have in your life, even though they may have helped with your business, or losing them may hurt a little bit. Sometimes cutting that out, it's almost like cutting out a cancer, you know, it hurts a little bit, but getting it out of your body can help us, you know, and out of your team, out of your life, can help build that energy and that cohesion. Because when somebody's in it and they are not being a team player, especially in my business and being an entrepreneur like this, it takes, you know, a positive group and it takes a positive energy. And so I have, you know, there's been people we have cut out. There's been people that we have are stepped away from because I didn't want, you know, their toxic energy. And you'll see that. You'll see when people start, you know, your intuition will tell you whether, or you catch them lying. And, you know, because people often don't change. And so I am selective on who I bring into my team because it's a special space. And these are people that I have a lot of my team members I have around my family. I have my kids around them. Our kids play together. They get excited. You know, we used to travel a lot more together, but that's kind of all stopped. But like last year, we took our family to Cancun. And my kids got to be around some of the most amazing friends and people that we had met because we were all traveling together. We were all there with our families. And it just felt like my son went, he's like, bye, I'm going to go get this ice cream. I'm like, you can't go over there. He's like, well, I know everybody. I'm like, no, we're at a hotel with thousands of people you don't know that I don't trust. But he had this almost false sense of security because he had met so many people that he knew and he thought everybody was his friend. So teaching him for that, but it is amazing when you can surround yourself by your children with people that are dreamers, entrepreneurs, and people that want the best out of life and people that are just happy. And that's what's important, I think.
Absolutely. And you touch a really good point there about the people who are, you know, toxic in your life. It's really expensive on your time, money, energy, your physical, your emotional, your spiritual. It's just they're like vampires sucking things out of your energy, your time. And I think like what Vandee also like said, like you have the power to let them go, and it's okay to let them go. They're on a different journey, you're on a different journey. There'll be a time when you're together, it fits perfectly, but there'll be a time when you're separated, and that's okay. So it's so important to have the people like Vandee was saying, the books, the podcasts, the audio books, your mentors, your coaches. You get to choose because you're the sum of the 5 people that you are the closest to. So if you're in the vibe, on the tribe of positive, inspiring, motivated, committed people, they're going to suck you into that energy. So if you're in the vibe of the victim, the moaning, the complaining, you're going to be sucked into that energy. So just be really mindful. And Vandee is spot on about having a team. Vandee and I, we've worked with several projects together, and it's always a teamwork between us. And it's so important when you have like a really positive, committed people. It's just so easy and so fun and so energetic, isn't it, Vandee? You got that buzz coming around with you. So Vandee, talk about people who like being like into network marketing, because that's one of the things that you kind of like was shown to you. Now, people have this connotation about network marketing, isn't it? Like they have this connotation about network marketing. Like I started off with body shop, doing events with the body shop, like the hands cream. It's really big in the UK, so that was where I was from. So I started off doing network marketing for body shop, hosting parties and selling stuff. Like understanding, being with people, making sales and all that. And it works really well because network marketing usually have a business system that you can tap into and the network. So talk us a little bit about you breaking through that connotation about network marketing and what you find are the most beneficial for people who want to start a business and just kind of want to understand about the business system in terms of network marketing.
You know, I like the part of I like about network marketing is I feel like you have a team and you have, a company that's going to have your back on shipping the product. I don't have to create my own product. I don't have to test it. I don't have to ship it. That's all done for me. My website's done. The paychecks get cut. I've got that team handled. And so that's one of the things that I tell people when you're looking at a network marketing company, look at a couple things. Check out the company. See who the leadership in the company is, see how financially secure it is, and see whether you can see yourself partnering with this. Look at the products. There's sometimes some companies that sell a product that people use once and they're, good, like a vacuum cleaner. That's a lot of just sales over and over again. I found a company that is a consumable product, so people want it. My business is also 85% customers are just ordering my product, not people making the money on the business. So it's a business I would have because people love the product. You want to look at the trends and you want to look at kind of what's going on in the world. What's happening? Is this something that's going to grow? Is this something that's kind of on the high and it's going away? Because certain things do go away. We've seen that, VCRs, CD-ROMs, DVDs. We were trying to explain cassette tapes to our kids the other day and they couldn't comprehend what that meant. You want to make sure you have a compensation plan that is in place, that you're going to get paid for your efforts, because as much as we all love what we do, we still have bills to pay. We still have things that we have to take care of. So you want to look at, that kind of things. And then you want to look at the team you're going to be part of. Are these people that align with your values? Are these people that you feel like you fit in with? Because you are going to be connecting them to your friends and your network of people and your sphere of influence, and you want to make sure that they connect. And you want to make sure there's a system in place so that it is duplicatable, because I wasn't signing up just to work a job 120 hours a week. I was signing up because I wanted to get some, leveraged income. I wanted to leverage other people's network. I wanted to help other people. And I wanted to build this, so I could have time freedom and some, more income opportunity. My husband was a school teacher. It didn't matter how great of a school teacher he was. There was a cap and a hard cap on what he could make. And so he couldn't work more hours for more money. That wasn't even an option. So you want to kind of look at what it is you want out of it and realize that it's something you are going to build slowly, and look at where that is, because there's a lot of great, I order products from a couple different network marketing companies because I love the products, but I had to find one that aligned with me, that I was going to share with people, and that I was going to be proud to represent, because it is, when you want to be all in. I've had people contact me 4 or 5 years later. Are you still doing that thing? Yes. I have been doing this for 10 years. This will be my home. And, so I am very protective of my company and my team. But yeah, look at those things. Look at those opportunities, because I love network marketing, because most people as an entrepreneur may not have the capital, to invest in, a McDonald's franchise or a restaurant or something like that. But this has something that's a very low cost of entry with a high reward if you plug in and you do the work. It is network marketing. It is not net wish marketing. And if somebody tells you you're going to be a millionaire next month in 30 days, turn around and run, because that's not somebody you want to align yourself with.
And that's like really spot on, Vandee. Like there's so many moving parts, isn't it? Whether you're creating your business, you want to join network marketing, or you're building your business from scratch. There's so many moving parts. Is it the product? Are you in alignment with your product? Are you in alignment with the team? Are you in alignment with the values? Are you in alignment? Do they have a good system, that you can just plug and play? Right? Like what Vandee was saying, like her website, her payment system, her what do you call it? Yeah, payment system, all the shipping and products and handling are all taken care of. So that takes a lot of stress from Vandee trying to figure out what is the best e-commerce solution for her. So she just basically plugs and play. I know Vandee is really passionate about health and wellness. So she looks for a company that is in alignment with that, with her health and wellness. And she also consumes the product, because you can't sell something if you don't believe in I mean, you can, right? Some people just like sell whatever it is they want to, but it's the confidence within yourself when you sell. So like that your family and that person's family is taken care of because you consume it yourself. So that's kind of like a really, really important point to kind of like, for those of you thinking of network marketing, absolutely go out and explore, test out various products. Whether it's health and wellness, is essential oils, there's so many things, isn't it, Vanny? There's so many out there. Test it out, and then you get to choose, and you can usually start with very, 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 very minimal. Some of it's just $100 or sometimes less, just as a jump start to kind of build your business. And Vandee, let's kind of like jump into the second part before we wrap up. You mentioned something about action, being consistent, and that's something you shared about in your book, Yes, I Can, and it is done. I'll leave the notes here below after this so that you can go and check out Vandee's book. So talk about action. There's not net wishing, isn't it? It's not like one of those pyramid money-making scheme. You do click a button, you do nothing, and you get money out of it. So talk about action. How even with the smallest action has helped you. So kind of give people some steps or some tips on that.
Yeah, I feel like if you have a big goal, no matter what it is, you need to break it down into, okay, this year I want to do this amount of sales. I need to break that down into how many months I need to make each month, how much I need to do each week, and how I need to, the action it takes. We kind of call it like a sales funnel. You invite people, you show them what we've got going on, you connect them to the team, and then you see if it's a right fit for them. And people will fall out because it's not always the right fit for them. Sometimes people message me and they say, hey, send me a bottle. I'm going to take it because I see the value of what you're selling, but I'm busy with my own thing. And that's fine. We support people with wherever they're at, because it's what's for them. I don't want to sign somebody up that doesn't want to, as a business partner, that doesn't want to build the business. So you want to make sure you give proper expectations, and then figure out what those daily activities are. I have minimums every day, and I have an app on my phone, and then I have people I follow up with. Hey, did you get the video I sent you? Did that answer your question? Do you have another question? Can I help you with this? Would you like to join the Zoom call and learn more about, this product or that? I'm trying to keep it generic here too, so excuse me if I stumble. But so you want to have your daily activities and your daily actions, because so many of us are used to having a job. We go in, a boss tells us do this, this, and this, and this. You get a lunch break, right here, and then you get to go home at this time. And so then when we come in to working by ourselves, sometimes we get a little bit crazy. And one guy mentor gave me the best tip I'd ever had. He said, every night you're the boss. You make your list of what has to be done. The next morning, You are the employee. You go through that list and you know what your minimums are. And I categorize myself a lot of project A, things I have to do. Project B, things I would like to get done that day, but they can be pushed off to tomorrow if, as moms, sometimes we juggle. I've had a sick kid the last couple weeks. And so there's been times I had to shift my schedule around and, and that's okay. But I know what my minimums are each week and each day. And those I try to, fluctuate. So
I think that's awesome, Vandee. Like Vandee has her non-negotiable every day, thing that she does, breaking things down into simpler things and the things that she has to juggle or shuffle, and that's okay. And that's one of the best things, isn't it, Vandee, about being an entrepreneur is the freedom. Like you get to work at this hours or this hours, or if needed be, you can put it off till tomorrow or ask a team member to help, because you're the boss. There's no one telling you your lunchtime is at this time. You can only go home at this time. You have that freedom and that power. And action is key. Vandee demonstrated she knows her numbers. She has the intention. She set her intention, her goals, and then she break it down. Whether the break it down to a monthly, you will always want to have a yearly goal, and then have a quarter goal, and then have a monthly, and then have a weekly, and then have a daily. It can just be like, today I'm just going to call one person and that's it. So today I'm just going to call one person and that's it. Or I'm reaching out to one person, or I'm following up with one person. Like Van was saying, there's one person she contacts, there's one person she follows up, one person she checks into. So it can just be as simple as that. As simple as that. So, because people make things complicated, isn't it, Vandee? But it's the consistency of doing things every day, every day, every day. Simple things like one of Vandee's product is called Protandim. So it's like basically you just take that pill every day, okay? There's nothing to it, right? You just take it every day, every day, every day. And then in the long run, you would see some benefits. So, and Vandee shared it in her book, Yes, I Can, and it is done on how she built the video. It's called consistency, isn't it, Vandee? Your chapter.
Yeah, it is. And it is. It's that daily action that is going to compound, and little tiny things then every single day will compound. And it's at a rate, like you said, it's not a marathon where you're trying to sprint for 25 miles. You're building a little bit all the time. And that's the way we do, because you can't live your life where you're running so crazy. And so having your actions every single day consistently to build your business will change your life. Because if you're burnt out and you run like crazy and work like crazy, you have no time for yourself, you have no time for your family, and you just run out of steam. And we can't live like that. So many times we burn ourselves out. And so taking that time is so important to, consistent action.
Exactly. Consistent action, everyday action, because the last thing you want is to become the slave to the monster that you created. And people think like, oh, I need to have something massive, right? Boom, like big, like, no, you don't. It's the daily thing. Even marathon runners, even Olympians, gold medalist Michael Phelps, he practiced every day for 6 to 8 hours, 6 days a week since he was a little boy. That's what takes him to be one of the greatest Olympian. He just didn't suddenly swim all those laps, right? He didn't just do that. It's the consistency of every day. And I think like consistency for me is the everyday work. It's where you build the muscle, you build the capacity. If you want to have that income coming in, if you don't have the capacity to a container to hold it in, it's going to slip away like lottery winners, right? How many of them win, boom, like a windfall, and it goes away so fast. Not only that, there were some of them worse than there were before, because they haven't got the capacity to receive money, to take care of money, and to hold money. So Vandee, it's been a pleasure talking to you, and let's wrap things up. leaving with, for any of the listeners that are listening, what would be your one key action that anybody can take to help build their business, if that's what they're thinking, or at the very least be productive today? What would be your one key action?
I would say write it down and do your activity and then track it and stuff. So if you don't know what you need to do, make your goal, write your goals down, and then track, get a little cheap planner and check off your list.
Absolutely. So it's just as simple as that. Get your notepad or on your phone, write down one or two things. You don't have to write 20 things, just one or two things for today that you're going to do. And that's it. And tick it off once you've taken the action to it. And Vandee, before we leave, tell everybody here that how can they get in touch with you? And if anybody wants to kind of have a chat about becoming an entrepreneur, how can they reach out to you?
Yeah. My name is Vandee Flake, and on social media, you can reach out to me on Facebook. I'm on Instagram. I'm on Clubhouse. I'm on LinkedIn. I think I'm on everything.
You're on Insta too, right?
I'm on Instagram too. We were the Traveling Flakes because we were traveling full time in an RV before COVID hit. But you can reach out to me. And do you want me to tell them what I'm offering today?
Oh yeah, so Van, if anybody of you who is listening and wanting help with some clarity around starting a business or kind of honing in on your business, Vandee's has graciously offered a 15-minute clarity call. I will leave the link in the video notes below, so you can reach out to her. And she's absolutely awesome. She's gonna bust through whatever it is that, that's in the way, and make you see like the simple things on getting clarity on what's important to you, whether it's your purpose, whether it's your action, whether it's your business exploration or avenues. Thank you so much, Vandee. It's been awesome. Thank you for your time. And everybody, to all that are listening, thank you so much for joining us with me, Dr. Izzy Harjami, your host, and Vandee Flake. And remember, tell yourself, yes, I can, and it is done. Vandee, say bye to everyone. Bye, 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 bye.